Do you ever feel like you learned something and or faced something and grew, right? And then the follow up is like a matrix. Like your the response to this growth would be the matrix, because then people there, like you can't raise kundalini and then have it be lowered again. Once you raise it, it stays raised, right? Vibrationally, you can raise your vibration and lower it, but a kundalini, once you raise it, it's raised. It stays there, right? But then a matrix, okay, is like a going back for a double grab or like a refill of, like a 2-for-1, double or nothing. Yeah. One more time, double or nothing, one more time. But then the second time, double or nothing, it's actually like 1,000,000 or some shit. Like, it'd be like, okay, I hit the mark, right? There were some marks that I had to hit as a person, and you hit it, right? What's the use of being around anymore, right? I'm not saying like to, like you're not important or anything, but you get the feeling that the second time it's like, okay, now more people are important, people have arrived and shit, and we gotta be nice, and they're gonna go along and act it out, and it's like ritualize it, the epiphany or the understanding that you have, right? You could ritualize it this time, and it's gonna be like you're getting it for the first time, like you're understanding it, right? And you're being dichotomized, placation for a long time, right? Some people had to, maybe they didn't want to reverse their field of thought in the now, but they would like maybe to change some of their narrative. They got red pilled, right? And they're gonna change some of their stances and everything. Who cares about all that red pill, blue pill shit? That's the matrix. Does that make sense? Like that's part of the reenactment. Then that's how they come for your energy. You have to get you to detest some aspect or worship some aspect of yourself. Like, does that mean you have a big head as part of yourself? Not if they, see, the thing is, not if they slapped your matrix on you, you know what I mean? Because it'll get unraveled. The universe pulls apart everything. It's pulling apart like everything, planets down to atoms, down to the subatomic, like protons and the electrons and shit, and they'll like start to blink in and out of existence with given less and less energy from the solar boat to universe B. That's why I think I'm Bobby Hemmett. I'm not. Okay, I already cleared that up. I mean, he can't have a jewel. He can't. He's not allowed to smoke the jewel. I'm just being selfish. So, plus, he's an OG anyways. So what if the physical domain, the illusion, right? Why isn't it an illusion? Why is it an illusion? Why is the physical an illusion? Everything interesting happens in the physical, right? And the spirit runs the physical too, like something like a demiurge or something. You know what I mean? Because what is spirit? Spirit is like hysterics, or, you know, like a lot of different hysterical aspect. You know, just, you know, I'm not saying it's not air and wine either. It's air, it's wine, but your spirit is tied to your humanity. And humanity is folly and it's hysterical. And so it's kind of running the world part. Like the energy, spirit energy is being fed to an archon to keep the matrix going. And that's why it's like a lot of the students have already graduated the curriculum, are being held back because they're bringing in drones. And if you don't believe in drones, they could turn my ass into a drone too. You could be like, I remember that I got override, and words coming out of my mouth, and it was in me. And it's like, well, I meant this way, and that way comes out, and this and that, and that's not even what it means to be a this or a that. But because of exacerbated conditions and shit, they clone you, and it's MK Ultra. So like, you know, and how can you have MK Ultra? You didn't go to Afghanistan or anything like that. You wasn't in Manchurian Candidate or something like that. But you have to know what it looks like, and it's like one of those experiments that got out of its control parameters. Even regardless of the intent being for experimentation or developmental, right? And just having outsourced the guinea pig. That's why Bobby Hemmett said it's wag the dog. You have to wag the dog. Fake it to make it is a occult saying, is an occult phrase or a saying. It's not saying that you have to be fake to make it or anything like that. When you look at the occult, you're looking at what's hidden. You're not looking at whether or not somebody can come right with their facts and shit, because you remember the Judas kiss and all that stuff. Like, we've already been explained to what the Judas kiss is, you know, and maybe even in Ethiopia, maybe the reason why Methodists are being infiltrated by Protestants is because one of the Methodists is actually working with the Archon or something. And I know this one Ethiopian girl, and she said that the Blue Nile was where the Luciferian energy that was the Judas energy was retreated to and was living. It was like trying to hibernate, trying to get its strength back up and shit, because it's weak. And she said it was weak, and she thinks that something about California, Selassei's energy is manifesting something about California. And I'm not saying like the politics. It obviously has nothing to do with Proud Boys and shit. You know what I mean? For one thing, she's black, and not like, you know what I mean? From like, I'm not saying that it can't be a white person to comprehend or anything like that, because they would have to use that basis. You're not black. You're not white. It's how you're perceived. But okay, so I still have to acknowledge. I still have to capitulate that there's a reality to that because you are perceived as such, that is the reality. I have to capitulate to it, even though I know otherwise, right? And that's just what it is. Like, you have to capitulate? Like, you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Are you a brother? What are you? Like, are you a OTM? Are you a wood? I gotta know right now. I gotta know. Everybody's gotta know. They don't want to get stabbed in the back or something. They gotta know what you is. Otherwise, it's a spit in my face. Is it really? Did I accomplish just spitting in your face? Like, you guys are all crooks. What's the problem? Like, aren't you guys all the band? You're Aladdin's band. Like, what's it called? Like the fucking. I don't know. I see things that ties everybody together and shit down to your DNA, and don't want to fuck around with these phony ideal shits. You know, force me, huh? Yeah. Just don't think about going to jail. That's, you know what I mean? Just don't think about it. Like, think about contributing something, and people know what you're talking about. You get that language. You get the language from doing the knowledge and coming up with the language up at work, right? Like, what do you think? The federal government does not like fucking ever been about corrections, right? Have they ever been about not arming the enemies? Even that's the thing. Why is it that we get, that's our biggest fuck up, is that we end up arming the Shahs around us? Like, they tell us never arm your enemy, then they go and arm the enemy. Is it about drug money? Like, I don't even think they need those chips. I don't even think it's about getting all the chips back. It's about the drones. They just get us out the way and get those drones, and they won't have the same idiosyncrasies that we got. See? That's like, they'll be better, like better humans. Smarter. They'll feel more pain. They're gonna feel more pain. You know, Nephilims, like giants and shit, they didn't fucking feel hardly bone breaks as much, right? They'll heal faster and shit. You just heal slower, feel more pain, but you're more sophisticated. You've been more brought up to speed on a fucking trying to encode your language, like for what's it called? Subject, what's it called? Subjugate race. Like, they're trying to be fake Yakub. You can't even talk about Yakub. Did you know that? Notice? Like, it's laughable. What do you know? Then stop doing that shit then. Yeah, did I fucking say I loved Yakub? You know what I mean? Like, Yakub is fucking off. He's a cat. Yakub is like the god of cats. J-Cat god. Okay, so what? Then you know about it. And then he had some technology. You know what else? A lot of fucking technological motherfuckers are J-Cat too. So what? Then you gotta be nice to them and shit. You can't offend them and shit. You might need to get re-educated and everything. And they gotta break you down into different classes. You're two types of people. You're either Nick Cannon or Cassidy motherfuckers. Yeah, you ain't a Cassidy. I'll come at you this way, that way, to make sure you're not Cassidy and shit. Well, I don't always feel like Cassidy though. Sometimes I want to be silly and shit, like Nick Cannon. You know, like, and shit. Like, I'm understanding and shit. I could be silly too, lighthearted and everything. who's controlling the switches and everything, and let us know which thumbnail to pick and the fucking whether or not you should have any credibility or likability score or something, and you can make people hang out with you. They use the social credit score at some point in time to facilitate the overseers, and you had to raise their kids. Remember, you had to raise the slave kids? They're trying to set it back up like that. You're gonna be raising some drone babies. And because of likability, the social credit score means if I outscore you socially, then you're my acolyte. Like, you have to be my disciple. And we're like, they can't do that. What are you talking about? Don't worry, it's not going to look like you think how you think. Anyways, nobody's waiting for your opinion. Fucking plebeian. Like, don't really care. You were always a commodity to the corporate elitists. They was always talking past me, talking to you. So what? Like, I stopped watching television, and they got to turn social media platforms into televisions, because they didn't know that you didn't watch it, then you would not buy a license, or that you would not pay for a subscription, then you need to buy a license. You know what I'm saying? Because what you pay attention to and everything. How many times you gotta quit watching television? It's just, you can't. They were pre-selected recommended videos are playing automatically, right? I started leaving comments in there. People commented acting like they clicked on the video. I'd ask them, if you clicked on the video, never hear from them again. Did you click on this video? Like, you're talking like my comment is random. I was talking about how why I already quit watching TV. Like, why? Like, how come? Why am I? I'm like so grateful that they brought back television so I could be worried about death all the time, dying and shit. Like, the way they talk about stats and shit, everybody's dying, like, they're killing me. So somebody was like, that's random and everything. I was like, yeah. Somebody else said bye-bye, like, just bye-bye. I was like, oh, you must be a monarch butterfly. You must have been a monarch butterfly. They don't know they don't even know what this is, man. First of all, bye-bye doesn't mean anything. Like, bye-bye, what? I didn't click on this shit. Bye-bye, this is pre-selected automatic plays. They're trying to get you with the script and shit. And they were just checking, and they said that we'll be looking and we'll be watching. I was like, what is that? No, you weren't. Not you, anyways. You're just a troll on the internet. You're not McAfee. You can't look through my camera and see me through my own camera and warn me that the same redirected, voyeuristic application has been given double, what they call that shit? They double dip, and it says for your own convenience.